With the 2023 presidential election inching closer, the issue of zoning is once again taking center stage.
Now, while rotational presidency that Nigeria has practiced for years is garnering support in some quarters, others are saying that the practice should be stopped. They want presidents to be elected based on merit and competence.
Now, those against this school of thought say that doing away with zoning would hurt the nation's democracy. The debate is now on as to whether Nigeria should stick with zoning for the 2023 presidential election or vote based on merit and competence. Public affairs analyst Razak Olokoba joins us now on Skype to bring perspective to this. Razak, good morning. It's good to have you join us on TVC Breakfast now.
Mike and Veronica, good morning.
Great, good morning. Right. I wonder what you make of, because elder statesman recently, Maman Daura, who made the comment around issues of zoning, also resonated with the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, who agreed with him. But a lot of Nigerians are saying the issue of zoning right now, it has always been, and that is one of the ways to settle some of the inadequacies and agitations from minority groups and all of that. Recently, we also heard from, I think it was about 2 days ago, from the governor of Kaduna State, who said that he was not going to support any other presidential candidate from the north in 2023. What do you make of all of these now?
Well, when we define democracy from the perspective of a number, what we had in mind was that it's going to be peace and unity. The most democratic initiative that Nigeria will take now is to embrace zoning. And if you look at alliances that the country has gone into in the past, it has led to so many crises. The alliances of the North and the South at a point led to a civil war. The recent one, which is about 6-7 years ago, we ended 6-7 years ago, almost led us into civil war. This is about the most peaceful alliance that we have had in this country. And that is why the country must make sure that the alliance did not break. What we need today is to begin to look at the political past of this country and come to conclusion that which one is traumatizing and which one is consoling. I want to tell you that the most consoling is what we're having at the moment. And the best way to have it is when the alliance is not allowed to break. And it is also proceed further by saying that we have had our part, add your own part. In the world today, I'm talking about sectors by sectors and regions by regions now. They not add the majority number. And what people use American strength to do in the world today is not to oppress and harass people, it's to stabilize. So the North may have their way. If they say they don't want zoning, they may have their way. But, like I said, you stabilize the country in the world. Look at India. The majority of tribes in India today don't come up with ideas that will further divide the country. For a Rufai to have embraced zoning is impressive. And it's a reality that all of us are bringing to improvise our political ideology.
Razak, if I have to interrupt you at this point, how has this translated to competence? Because a lot of Nigerians are also concerned with the areas of competence and delivering on the dividends of democracy. Governance is what Nigerians are after.
There is no region in this country that don't have people who are sufficiently qualified to rule this country. In the North, we have the likes of Rufai. We have Buhari. You have a lot of people in the North who can rule this country. So also in the South, in the Southeast, and in the Southwest that all of us are beginning to look at. For instance, in the Southwest, we are one of the prominent leaders of self-determination group, but I'm the convener of the umbrella group, COSEC. And we have dissected, we look at the profile of so many of our sons and daughters in the Southwest, and the list is unending. You have Tinubu, you have Fashola, you have Fayemi, you have Osiba, the current VP. And if you look at what these people have achieved politically, I don't think anybody would disqualify them. You understand that? What you do is to endorse them. So there is no region that doesn't have. People who says that we should look at our qualification don't recognize the peculiarity of Nigeria. We are a peculiar nation. We have not resolved the question of identity. If we resolve the question of identity of I'm a Yoruba, I'm an Igbo, it doesn't matter again where you come from. But before we resolve that, the most consoling thing to all ethnic groups to have their likes in power. If they don't have their likes in power, we are going to continue to have this crisis of, it's a northerner. But when you have your take, let's watch your achieve with it. Let other people have their own take too.
Razak, quickly, you mentioned something that I'd like to touch on. We saw what happened in 1993. The issue of identity didn't seem to come to play.
That time, it was even 1990 that brought up the question of identity. I was never a person of, I was not pursuing Odua agitation before. In fact, the group I was leading before is a Pan-African group. The unification of the entire Africa, that we are the first slave owners, we are the first ruler of the world, we made black men make tremendous contributions to humanity. But soon as June 12 came on board, and it's part of this, we must remember that we must never allow June 12 to occur in Nigeria again. And the best way to prevent another June 12 is to make sure that everybody is carried along, everybody is given a sense of belonging. And at the moment, we have spoken to many of the northern leaders, and we have encouraged them to build alliances. Even God, among his creations, he built alliances. You see zebra, you see gazelle grazing together. You see lion and another wild animals. You see hippopotamus and alligator in the water. That's an alliance. Between human beings too, there must be alliance. In America today, northerners and southerners don't meet. But when it comes to the question of leadership, there's a line of alliance that they draw, that we must bring on board anybody that's going to promote American unity. So far as to say for Ghana and other countries of the world, including China, so also in Nigeria too, we must establish a line of alliance.
Okay.
Based on unity, based on peace, and the alliance at the moment is the most workable alliance, the most productive alliance. I must not allow you to break. Zoning is democratic. Zoning is a bringer of unity.
All right.
Zoning is going to bring a sense of.
Thank you, Razak.
Not today, search tomorrow. We'll make Nigeria move forward.
Okay.
Now, if we are to address the issues of either rotation or zoning, as it stands, our democracy over 20 years, are we matured enough to that point where we can say we can ditch one for the other?
There's always a shortcut to development. At a point, Japan was a laughingstock in the world, but today is the third economy in the world. A mountainous country, it has suffered atomic crisis twice. But the quality of life in the world today, Japan took #1. And that's a shortcut to development. So in terms of democratic maturity too, 20 years is sufficient for us to have matured and graduated from limitations of democracy. So today, we should be among the most knowledgeable about democracy. We have lectured other countries of the world about democracy in Africa, and we even go outside the shore of Africa to lecture about democracy. So the whole question of maturity shouldn't come to play. Rotational or zoning has come to stay with us. We have to improvise. There's no ideology that does not have its own merits and demerits. The demerit of zoning, which is popularly touted, that at the end of the day, unqualified candidate or incapable candidate might emerge. It is the responsibility of any region that such an office is zoned to ensure that their best 11 is put forward to serve the nation. If we don't zone, either at the highest level or at the lowest level of councillorship, some people will never have a taste of power in their life. And that is why we must understand that zoning is democratic. In China today, the president of China, going by their law, is going to be the president for life. It's because it's a peculiar style of democracy that they are practicing. In Cuba, there's no proper election for the president every 4 years. But the parliament undergo periodic election, as well as Russia, that is running for the president for the fourth time. Merkel He's not going to be the president of Germany also for the first time.
All right.
So
Razak,
it's not about 4 years.
Razak, because of the want of time, let me ask you this before we let you go. Now, from what you're saying, it seems like rotation has come to stay as a way of our peculiarity. So do you think it should be enshrined in the Constitution so that it becomes formal and it becomes legal, so that it becomes binding?
Yes, it's not only zoning that should be enshrined in our Constitution. There are a whole lot of things that we should do to our Constitution. For instance, apart from zoning, there must be devolution of power, such that all this attention that is being paid to who becomes the president of Nigeria will not be there. Because if states have more power to construct railway lines, to do light, to put power in place and do a whole sort of thing, that the responsibility of a president becomes tremendously minimal. There will be no more attention to where the president comes from. That's one. Two is that the question of identity must be resolved. How do I mean by that? All of us must understand that we have ethnic peculiarity. In the north, majority want Sharia. In the east, there's a semblance of a governance that they have aspired for long. In this east, the south, they want a derivation formula. While in the west, we want a common railway line, a common educational policy, a common system of economy. Once we sort this one out and all component part of Nigeria is strengthened, the attention for center will not be there. But to address the point at hand now, we must learn how to turn our setback into victory. In the past, zoning is not in our dictionary, democratic dictionary, but today is there. All region, all ethnic group must begin to put forward their best 11. I am from Yoruba land, and we have made sure that nobody that will not project the image of Yoruba will emerge as our candidate. We have outlined, we have analyzed, we have looked at the profile of all the likely our first 11s. I can mention a few of them. We have Ashwaju, you have Fashola, you have Oshibaju, you have Fayemi, you have a whole lot of people that are eminently qualified to rule us. They have array of people to choose among them, and that's what we should do. Once we do that, the fear of people that zoning is not democratic, zoning is anti-development will no longer be there, and it must be addressed. So Razak, I encourage every sectors of this country to allow the alliance on ground to work. It's working.
All right, we have to leave the conversation here now, Razak. We have to leave it here now. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
It's a pleasure being with you. Thank you very much.
All right.